Hello, it's Tristan here from ZebraInvest, and today I'm running through a fantastic video that's going to be really good for picking up creative deal structures and being able to negotiate on properties where you can purchase them with, say, a lease option, put an assisted sale in place, or possibly something like an exchange with delayed completion. The whole idea being that we're looking to try and focus on finding deals really simply and easily where you can kind of put these creative strategies in place and get win-wins for both you and for the vendor. So we're going to be focusing on the sourcing system on PropertyData, and I'm going to run through that and show you exactly how you can find these kind of deals in your area and the ones that you might want to target. And what we're going to do is look at the chain-free section. So why are we focusing on chain-free? So as I'm sure you know, and you would have already found out about this before, chain-free is great for where you're going to have landlords who own properties that might be sitting empty. So they could have had a bad tenant, they could have had the Section 24 property price increases, throwing them out the way, and they've decided they don't want to keep investing. But they might have a tired property and it looks tired when people are coming around to see it, and it just doesn't sell on the market. So you then get investors. So you've got someone who might have gone out and they've done a property up or to a basic standard and they're trying to flip and they're trying to sell it, but it's just sticking on market. It could be where the price is a little bit too high, or it could just be if the property hasn't even been staged, or if you look at it and it's just got outlandish wallpapers all over the place that no one is ever really going to want to move in to and live in. And you could just add a bit of value through dressing it, really good photos, helping stage it or whatever else. The other bit is you get probate properties. So this could be where someone's passed away. And whilst a lot of these probate properties tend to get snapped up quite easily because they're really nice, simple, easy ways to add value to them. But if you find those probate properties where they aren't selling, you might be able to go in there, do the light refurbishment, help get that property up together and get it ready for the next person to move in. And that's where you can make a little bit of margin. So I'm not explaining how the assisted sale or a lease option exactly works, but just how we can find them and why someone might want to do them. And then finally, some people put these properties in the market where they're in debt and they need to hit a certain price point to get that property sold. So this is usually where it works when someone can't just go to a quick house sale company and they need to get a better price for their property. So what we're going to do is I'm going to head over to PropertyData. I'm going to show you exactly how we can get these chain-free lists together and then how we can intersect it. And that means where properties have got more than one reason that they're struggling to sell. I'm going to just go through each of these little points that I've on the screen here, and hopefully we're going to help you find a really great deal. So I'm just going to jump straight into PropertyData. You would have seen their website before. Personally, as I've explained previously, I have what's called a max account. I pay for this monthly, but it's just so you can have unlimited searches, unlimited areas, and you can save as many different kind of target areas as you would like, and then you're also able to sort on and pass on details. Let's just log into the account. Here we go. And then as we head in here, we're going to head into the source section. And so when you click on source, and you can see LastPass has been lovely and friendly to me there, but we've got endless different options on here that we might want to look through. So what I would personally do is first of all go to, and as I explained earlier, chain free. So chain free you can see right here. We're just going to click into that. And what you can do, there's different ways of doing this, but you can either go into your target area or your local goldmine area that you've already set up, or you can just put in a postcode in the area and then put a search parameter around it. So for example, with this case, let's say turn around and say something like let's go with BH1, which is in Bournemouth, and then we're going to turn around and say we're going to put up a 5-mile radius, and then actually you can see, look, there's 450 properties sitting chain free there. And then one thing that you will notice, and we're going to just whittle this out and filter this out straight away, is that PropertyData seems to like also including the stuff that's been sold. So I want to make sure that we don't have that. So we're going to put a filter on sold, subject to contract, and it's going to be negative. So it hasn't been sold subject to contract. That's then going to limit it down, now down to 288. So we're only looking at the deals that are potentially available. And now what you can see here is we've got something where it says intersect with list. So these are all of the properties where they're sitting chain free at the moment. if we intersect them, so that's basically making sure it matches up with two different kind of criteria, then we're going to be able to find the sellers who are more likely to want to sell or more open to a creative strategy. So look, we're going to go with properties that are sticking on the market to start off with. So what we'll do is we'll click intersect this list, and then we can then put on slow to sell. So that's going to be any of the properties that are really dragging, have been on the market for quite a long time. Supposedly, it's only to putting up the one matching property here, which is chain free and slow to sell. And when it loads up, you can see that's on Alma Road. It's a 2-bedroom flat. So it had a 14% reduction, but it's kept going, 210, 200, 190, 185. So they're slowly reducing it down, and they must be motivated just to slowly get rid of this. Long lease on the property as well, and it says it hasn't been on. So you can then just click into the property, have a look and see what the deal might be. Got a small little garden there. It's got furniture and the places. I'm not quite sure by what reason this one's looking to be sold. But this could be one where it just needs a light refurb just to bring it up to a nice standard. You see it's actually quite a decent sized flat. It's got 2 bedrooms in it as well. So, maybe if it's, depending on the location on it, it could also possibly be, let's have a look before I say it. It's a little bit too far from the sea and everything else, but I was going to say maybe it would be something you use for service accommodation. But it looks like it could be a decent property. It's stuck around on the market. Here we go. Actually, this is where it's been relisted. 495 days. So when it came up here and said 45 there, it wasn't quite right. As we came back down here, it says 495 days. So I imagine the vendor on that one, if he was to come in with a lease option, so we can take the property off your hands and we'll sort something out, they would be really open to it. So let's go back to this list here, and you can see, so that was the chain-free properties where they're slow to sell. So I'm going to remove the intersect, so that means that we're now only going back to properties that are chain-free. So here I then said, how about properties where they've had a sale fall through? So if someone had a sale fall through, the property and is chain-free, and again, they're more likely to be open to doing a deal with you rather than possibly dealing with someone else, or even just selling it. So we're then looking for something. If you look here, there's a function called back on market. And again, now what we're going to do is we've got 5 properties that have come up, and these are all going to be properties where they've come off and they've sold. For some reason they've come back to the market. So I'm just going to open a couple. You can see here, look, back on market, it's chain free. It's only had a small price reduction. So it was on for 290. What's on for 280 now? And then you can see this is where when it says on market for 63 days, you can see here where it's got these 3 little points here. That's where it would have been on the market for the first time. And then it has a large gap. And so the large gap is when the property hasn't been on the market and the sale has fallen through. So then the property came back on the market in December. You see that all the way through to now, so it's almost 3 months. They've tried dropping the price more recently, so they're a little bit more motivated to try and get the property done. So then you can turn around and look at that and think, if it's sitting empty, why is it sitting empty? And have a look through the photos. It's not. It doesn't look like it's actually empty, but why has it got no chain? So there could be a deal or an opportunity there, or something that you could do with it. And as it's fallen through, it's been on a little while, it's getting a little bit tired, the vendor might be open for like a lease option or creative strategy, or even an assisted sale with it. That one actually looks in quite good condition. Here you've got Upper Norwich Road in Westbourne. It's had 11% reduction price being dropped, so that's 185, 180, 175, 165, so almost, that's 20 grand it's had shaved off it. And here you can see, look, it was at 165. They had a sale agreed in December, it disappeared off market, and it's now come back almost 2 months later at the reduced price. So you can come down and you can see whether that is a realistic price for what kind of a property it is. It's a 2-bedroom flat, so 173, so it might actually be a little bit below market value. And what you might get for it on rents, looking at that, 900. It's got one odd one there, but so 850 probably a month rent for it. And it actually looks all in really good condition. So it could actually be quite a neat deal. It's split over, almost looks like it's split over 2 floors as well. So it's a really nice big chunky flat. So that again could be a nice deal just to be able to approach and see if you can do something there. The other side of it, unfortunately, it isn't telling us what the square footage of the place is. But in here, where it's £276 a square foot, and just looking at the size of this, it looks pretty chunky. There could also be a little bit of below market value there. So I'm going to quickly go off on a tangent, but hopefully you'll find this useful. So what you've got here is you have the postcode of the property, and what I'm going to quickly show you is how you can find the full property address. So we're going to put the postcode there. Come down on this listing in Zoopla, and it's telling you what it last sold for. So you're going to put that in your search as well. And then what you're going to do is you're going to add in the 165. And by having those three pieces of information, here you can see that we come straight up and tells us which property it is. So we have got, we can just quickly search that again. So we said 165, 123. So that's actually the price that they paid for the property. Only not too, well, looks of things in 2005. Let's have it again. So this maybe is that one. I'm not necessarily hitting straight up. I think it's going to be. They're saying this property is in Upper Norwich Road. Wait a minute, let's have a look. Upper Norwich Road, Westbourne. I think it might be this one, oddly. I don't think that date is quite correct. And the reason I'm saying that is because it's saying Upper Norwich Road. I'm completely wrong here. Usually I'd like to think I'm pretty good at doing this. 24th of October 2000. Yes, that must be it. 10 Parkgate News. That is on Norwich Road. There you go. And here you go. You should, so what I've done there, just to point out, we've got the address, and then just by Googling it, it then comes up with a Zoopla listing. If you click on the Zoopla listing, and you come down to the for sale details, you can see that the property is for sale, and we know that is the correct property address. And the reason we've done this, the reason I wanted to find that property address, is by using the postcode we have here and with the property name that we know it is. If you go to the EPC register, we can go to Start Now, put in a domestic property, put in that postcode, and then we've got all these 60 properties coming up. So then what we're going to do is say Parkgate News. We're looking for number 10. Hopefully it's just here. And we can see how big that property is. So it's 72 square meters. And so then what we do is use the fantastic piece of kit that is a calculator. So 72 square meters, and then we times that by, I'll just do that on here, times it by 10.76, which converts it into 72 times by 10.76, and that converts it to square feet. It's 772.74. And we see that the prices are per square in that area about 276. So I'd actually say that this property, because it's obviously split level, it's pretty big. It's actually a little bit below market value, and possibly it is actually being advertised a little bit cheap. So there you go. That's how we've just looked at it. And you might, just by taking on that property on a lease option for a longer term, you can give them the security that they've managed to get the property looked after, their mortgage is being looked after and kept in place. And then down the line, you can then get that purchase price. And hopefully where we can see that we're actually buying at a better price than what the market's saying that the rest of the properties are worth in the area, and on its square foot price, you're actually buying a decent deal. So I've gone through how to do the intersect on using chain P properties that are back on market. So finally, the last thing I said was about properties that have had price reduction. So if they probably had a price reduction, the chances are they are going to be keen to get out again, and they're going to get, want someone just to be taking that property off their hands. So again, we go here to the intersect with list, and we're going to go with price reduced. And price reduced is anything that's had its price reduced more than 15%. So here, again, we're getting a few of these properties come up. They're going to be worthwhile looking at. So we've got this one that's coming up in Christchurch. Christchurch is a beautiful place to live. But you can see here that we've got this property. Actually looks quite tidy. but you can see stunning property. What we'll do is, and you can see, look here on its history, it was on at 295 and it's now been dropped to 250, so it's a 45 grand reduction. You can do your deal analysis to see whether you think that is actually a good deal. It might be a tad over, still over the market price, and that's probably why it's sticking. But, and again, you know, that property's just sat on the market for, let's have a look. It says it's been on for 149 days. So that's almost, what, 5 months? And again, it's a colossal property in size. But this might even be maybe if you wanted to, you know, turn it, I don't know, I think it's grade 2 listed, you might not be able to do this. You might be able to move the kitchen, so you have a kitchen, living room, and then you would end up having, you know, maybe a single bedroom there, and you can rent the single bedrooms out, and then maybe that's a nice little holiday rental property or something like that. You can work out your numbers based on the price per square foot, but maybe as a 3-bedroom property, it might work a bit better. And then also, it seems really odd here that you've got all this entrance hall space that couldn't just be included in that large lounge dining room. So that's one property there. And then we can have a look at Eastcliff. And again, the whole idea here is that we're looking at stuff where it's had a significant price reduction. And that's just pointing out that the landlord might be more motivated to do something. And this one looks like it's actually, it would have been on the market as a normal property for quite some time. 150, 140, 120, 110. It's still been on here for quite a while. So modern method of auction. So that just means that the property is being sold by something like I am sold. It might be when there's usually an auction in place, it would be trickier to be able to get something agreed, especially through the agent. You should retain and pay them a fee to make sure that they're happy that you're, you know, doing something with those properties if you do anything. But you might be able to send a letter through the post, and if this person's clearly motivated and has a problem and wants to get it sorted. I mean, even looking through it doesn't look particularly bad, but it might just be something that you might be able to do on, say, a lease option and be able to help them out with. So, as you can see, I've gone through a few different ways that we can obviously find deals with landlords, investors, and possibly where there's debt, and basically really good ways that you can find creative sales and investment opportunities. I hope that's been a great help. If you aren't already using PropertyData, if you're in the email series, you'll get a link to be able to sign up to it to show you how you can use it, and that'll also give you a discount code. Otherwise, there might be a discount code straight after this. So I hope that's great. Have a good day. If you've got any comments, let me know, and I hope you like this. Cheers. Hey guys, thanks for spending your time going through the Secret Sauce series and watching the video there. Hopefully you found it jam-packed full of information that you can action, go out there and really start getting property deals across the line. As you know, or you might not know yet, this is part of the Secret Sauce series. So every week you can have 2 videos sent straight to your inbox explaining how you can go out there and find great deals. So that can be anything from how to get deal sourcing, how to find properties below market value, stuff where the property size are way too big for the area, and how you can negotiate down a great discount so you do maybe like a title split. If you're out there looking for rent-to-rent deals, that will show how you can quickly find out demand, stack the deals, and to be able to get them right through. But we've done a whole series of this, and the idea is you can get emailed each week with all the little updates going through there. And we've got some fantastic little tools and ways to get around finding investment deals. So all I want you to do is, if you'd like to keep receiving these videos that we're creating, this is all completely free content. If you head over to Cutly, cutt.ly/ZebraInvest, capital Z, capital I. When you hit that page, there's going to be an email sign-up form. What I want you to do is just enter your name, what type of property you're investing in, what type of deals you're doing, and roughly what you're looking for. That's going to help me to work out what kind of content to put out there, create to help you along your way. And then what we're going to do is send out a fantastic series of videos exactly like this one in our Secret Sauce series to really help you get going and get your property deals coming across the line and hitting your goals. I hope you found this of help. If you've got any questions, comments, or anything else like that, leave them in the below or pop me an email, which is tg@ZebraInvest, and I'll see what I can do to help you. But thank you very much, guys, and I look forward to seeing you soon.